Present where once there was only darkness. We have come to fulfill a divine purpose. That is why we must preach this very gospel this evening. That is why the whole world is at attention at this very moment. Learned people all over the world listening to this very broadcast, because this remains indisputably the greatest university on the face of this very earth. If you listen to Radio Biafra, you can never be the same again. If you partake in this very gospel, you will see the light. As always, we must pray. We must call upon the Most High, God Almighty that resideth in heaven, to come and take charge of our proceedings this very evening, because humanity is listening. If you do not have your pen and paper ready, if you have not informed your neighbors, your friends, and your family to participate in this very process of enlightenment this evening, then you have not done your job thoroughly. Because I challenge anyone to listen to Radio Biafra and remain the same after that. There are idiots all over the place. There are fools all over the place. They will continue to make a mockery of themselves. They will continue to prod us to see if we can respond to any of their garbage. But we are preoccupied with doing this very important work of the restoration of Biafra. We remain undistracted because we have the Janjaweed Fulani Caliphate in our sights, and it is an opportunity we are not going to miss. I welcome each and every one of you once again, and I say to Elohim, Lord God Almighty in heaven, the creator of everything that we see around us. You existed before the commencement of time and space itself. That is why we say you are the Lord of all the hosts of heaven. That is why we say you are the Ancient of Days. That is why you changeth not. As you are in the beginning, you have remained ever the same until this very day. You are Lord God Almighty, the author and the finisher of our faith. We submit before your throne of grace this very evening. As I know that barely 4 weeks ago, my parents were committed to the Mother Earth, that they may reside beside thee, and ask and plead for Biafra to be restored in the time of their children. We call upon thee to have mercy upon us, to forgive us our sins, to redeem Biafra from the hands of darkness and iniquity, to allow Britain to see common sense and let your children go, or else, as I have repeatedly proclaimed on this very platform, what befell Pharaoh and Egypt shall be the portion of Britain if they do not allow Biafra to go. They are doing the best they can to marginalize. They are doing the best they can to whitewash every news that is coming out of Biafra land. They have bribed, they have intimidated, they have cajoled, and they continue to do so around the world. At every place, at every station, where they know that the story of Biafra must be told, they are there, doing what they have always done, trying to bribe people not to report Biafra, doing their damned best to see if they can stop IPOB. But due to your grace, O Heavenly Father, we have remained indestructible. We have grown from strength to strength every day. You see what is happening to your children. You have seen the mistake that Azikiwe did. You have seen the foolishness of the Fulefu class in Abuja and in Lagos. You have seen the imposition of Janjaweed slaves in our land, especially in Imo State. You can see the blood of your children being spilled in Ebonyi State. You can see what is happening in Benue. You are aware of the plight of Biafrans in Delta. Only D is knowledgeable about what your children are passing through at this very critical period in our history. Therefore, we ask you, Heavenly Lord, to hear our cry and come to our mercy, because all honor and glory is yours. It doesn't belong to us. Everything that we do is at your direction from heaven itself. We have no strength. We have no power. Sometimes courage deserts us, but you continue to renew us with hope every blessed day, that these very fights to bring down your kingdom from heaven to this very earth, in the center of the universe itself, in the center of Biafra, is that which you ordained and that which must come to pass in our time. Therefore I ask thee, O Lord God in heaven, to have mercy upon your children, to give us the grace, the wisdom, the fortitude, the intelligence, the understanding, to assimilate that the message, this very message, you give to us continually, that in the end our enemies may flee and Biafra will come. We shall rebuild your temple at Arochukwu that the Vandals destroyed, that your name, O Elohim, will be praised, adored, worshipped, revered forever and ever, we pray. He say. This evening we preach this very gospel as vindication of everything we have ever said. From the beginning we have said it, and we have continued to say it, that Biafra must be restored, that there is no basis. I repeat, there are no basis. I reiterate, there can never be any basis for the existence of the damnable zoological republic. Nigeria is a blot, it is a shame on the conscience of everybody who is reasonable enough to understand the organic nature of nation formation and state creation. We are going to start this program this evening with a very measured analysis of two people, because we have made headway in the United States of America. The zoo have gone, as they have always done in the past, to bribe some efulefus, to convince some idiots who cannot reason properly, to be campaigning for the zoo called Nigeria in the USA, because we made it public that if you are a Biafran in the United States of America, you must identify yourself as a Biafran. Because of that, the Zoological Republic had to go to the USA to sponsor people to ask you in your ignorance to endorse Nigeria. Therefore, this evening, based on that very erroneous message, that very distorted view of history, based on the ignorance they continually exhibit, this evening I shall dissect the zoo to let the world understand that anybody who believes in Nigeria, anybody who rises up and says he or she is a Nigerian, that person is worse than a monkey, is worse than a baboon in the zoo. I want to prove it not through any of my theories nor postulations, by what somebody else said who is learned, enlightened, and educated. That the world may know, that we are justified in seeking the termination of the zoo, that we are justified when we say that the reason why the Fulani terrorists are all over the place, bombing and killing people every blessed day, without the Western media reporting it, is because you inhabit Nigeria. The reason why people die prematurely, the reason why there is no light, no hospitals, no good roads, no schools, people are dying of hunger, is because you inhabit Nigeria. The reason why people continue to die needlessly, the reason why we drown in the Mediterranean, the reason why we shrivel and dehydrate in the desert, is because of Nigeria. The reason why there is corruption, the reason why there is impunity, the reason why there is so much hatred, the reason why there is so much internecine strife and destruction of lives and properties in that damnable geological space, is because of Nigeria. The reason why people are backwards is because of Nigeria. And it must come to an end. It has to come to an end. If the zoo does not come to an end, it will bring all of our lives to an end, I assure you. It will. I said, allow me to repeat, any African I want to go outside, should I say, the natural limitations of our discourse on this very platform, to restate very clearly, anybody who believes in the artificially drawn boundaries by Otto von Bismarck in Berlin in 1888 is not a human being. Therefore, Nigeria should not have existed. Bafemi Awolowo said it very clearly. It is a mere geographical expression. It is not a nation. It is not a country. That is why terrorists from Chad, from Mali, from Niger, from Sudan, they swarm down into the zoo and they slaughter you like wild beasts. It never existed. Nigeria was never a country and can never be. It was never a nation and can never be. Do not take my word for it. I am going to play a clip of somebody who is lost. A typical African, full of self-deprecation, hate, and inferiority complex. That the world may know how foolish I wouldn't say some of us, some of you are. Those of you that believe in one Nigeria, I want to demonstrate your foolishness before the whole world, that the world may know how daft you are. You cannot reason. Those that fly green, white, green flag, you are daft. You cannot reason. You are mentally retarded. You are poor in your reasoning capacity. That is why you are suffering. Imagine should coronavirus enter the zoo with the rate of mortality and infection, what is going to happen in that damnable zoological republic? When I call Nigeria a zoo, I have justification and reason for that. When I say that everybody, if you call yourself a Nigerian, you're a fool, I want to prove it to you. Not by what Nnamdi Kanu is saying, not what you hear on Radio Biafra. Confirmation from an American that lectured and tutored students at Oxford University Students' Union debate, so that you will listen and hear it. The reason why black people are suffering all over the world is because I keep saying it all the time. We do not reason properly. We don't. I give you a very simple example before I go into this very detailed analogy. Look at what is happening in the zoo. Look at the rate of destruction of lives and properties. Terrorists came in and we are killing people. They paid the Yoruba journalists to call them bandits and they call them bandits. And you all forgot that these are Fulani, well-trained terrorists. They're killing, slaughtering, maiming, and displacing communities. They came into Ebonyi State and attacked an outlying village. They said it's another Biafran community from Benue State that attacked them, which is a lie. The army are weaponizing, or should I say arming the terrorists in Delta. No one is doing anything about it. Have you noticed how Nigerian newspapers and their television stations do not report the mayhem, the slaughter and the killing going on in Biafra land? When Amotekun was formed, they were all over the place screaming and shouting. They forgot that the reason for Amotekun is to stop exactly what is happening in Biafra land today. They know we have limited resources. IPOB cannot be everywhere, in every village, equipping them to the necessary level for them to mount any credible resistance to these hordes coming from the north. I hope you understand what I'm saying. Because people have a distorted understanding. People have a messed up view of what Nigeria is and their place in it. This evening, I want to prove it to you that that damnable zoological republic is the reason why you are dying. There is no other reason. I asked my white friends and I said to them before the British came, did we have this level of strife between, should I say, nationalities in that part of the world? The answer is no. Why do you think what is happening is happening? Do people actually pause to ask themselves, why are we in the mess we are in today? Do you actually prefer a solution out of it? Do you know what is happening and do you know the best way to come out of it? I am sure that 90% of Nigerians do not know. This evening we shall tutor you. Remember, there was a time that our sister, Madam Erwa, and the IPOB family in the USA started to participate in US census that is going on. We educated people and enlightened them, told them how to complete the forms and to also, or should make sure they indicate that they're Biafrans. Do you know what the zoo did? As they always do. They went and paid some people and asked them to start advertising Nigeria. Let me play what the young man had to say. And then you will listen to the next clip that I will play after this. How he will be torn to pieces. It's only for those who can reason. This is somebody who was born in a place called Nigeria. He never asked himself. People never ask questions. Who is my grandfather? Where did my grandfather come from before Lugard came? What nationality was my grandfather? So does it mean that the history of my people, the history of the nation and the country that my grandfather came from, that my great-grandfather came from, no longer exists? They're no longer human beings. In other words, you are saying that when white people call you monkeys and baboons and you start crying, you never ever think to yourself, why are they calling us baboons and monkeys from Africa? Because we are daft and very useless. How come that your great-grandfather that was inhabiting his land, his ancestors before him, then you were born, a white man took a boat from Europe, came down, anchored his ship off our coastline, walked into your village, and now said today your life has to exist from today because you've seen a white man. In other words, before the white man came, you were not human beings. Do you see why they call us monkeys and baboons? Do you see why they insult us? Do you see why when they see black people abroad, they cover their noses? Do you see why when you go and look for a job abroad, they tell you, oh no, you're black, why don't you go back to your country? Do you see why there is discrimination? People complain about racism and discrimination as if somehow it is a natural phenomenon. No, it's not. We brought it upon ourselves because we have failed to reason. People may wonder, why am I saying all these things this evening? I'm saying it for a simple reason that we need to build a parameter upon which the debate around the disintegration of the zoo called Nigeria can be better understood. If we don't build all these parameters, you won't understand that that thought and idea of green, white, green you have in your brain is not only colonial. It is the very best way to showcase your stupidity and ignorance as a human being. I want to prove to everybody that says he or she is a Nigerian, that by mere harboring that thought, I am a Nigerian, I want to prove to you this evening that you are not worthy to be called a human being. You are saying that the life of your village, of your community never existed until Lugard came. That's what you're saying in essence. You are not, in other words, you're the creation of Frederick Lugard. That's what it means. You never ever existed before. You are nothing until they found you. I don't know if I'm making any sense to our people or not. I don't know if they are understanding it or not. Because I want them to. Let me play to you what somebody did in America. So foolish, so shameless, so idiotic. And then you ask this person, all those that are defending one Nigeria, you ask them, who were you before the white man came? Does it mean you never existed before? This evening I want us to lecture those who do not know, that they may know. Listen to this very carefully, please. Listen to it.
It is now possible for Nigerians to be counted as a community in the U.S. Census, and that's a very big deal. I'm holding in my hand the 2020 census, which starts this April 1st. I'm asking you, please, if you're a Nigerian living in America, you have a blue passport, you have a green card, you intend to change status, you have already done so, but you don't live in America at the moment, or your family member have done so but live abroad, meaning they're not living in the U.S. at the moment, please, very important, let's seize this opportunity to count. Page 2, number 9, page 3, number 7, page 4, number 7, page 5, number 7, page 6, number 7, page 7, number 7. Very important. Please fill that section out proudly as a Nigerian American, because in the democratic system, numbers matter. I do understand, in light of what's going on in the world today, the New World Order, this may seem trivial. But remember, we only have this opportunity once every 10 years to be counted, and that has never happened in the history of our migration to the United States. So please pass this message and let's make it work. Thanks for...
He migrated to the USA, he said. He migrated from a place he calls Nigeria. Understand this very, very carefully. He said if you're a Nigerian, if you're proud of being a Nigerian and all that nonsense that goes with it. Why is he doing this? Because IPOB, they've gotten their intel, of course, which is intelligence, that IPOB is doing a very good job as getting people to identify as Biafran in the ongoing census in the USA. So they felt like paying this baboon to come out and say what he had to say. As people might say, oh, you insult him, why are you calling him a baboon? Because if you're a Nigerian, you're a baboon, you're very foolish. As I said earlier, a man left Hong Kong. They put him on a boat to come and stop the French advancement towards the Western advancement of the French forces. Because then France was in Dahomey, entering Badagry. Britain said, no, we can't allow this. Go and get land for us as well. Everybody is there scrambling. These monkeys are climbing down from the trees. They don't know what to do with their land. Let's go there and take it. They came to Africa and they took everything. Because of our behavior. Because we couldn't reason properly like human beings. Nobody wanted to be proud of their heritage and their culture. And when they left, they said, your name is now Nigeria. And some people accepted it. Foolishly, I would say. There are some things I've been preaching on Radio Biafra for years. For years. I never knew that scholars in the Western world, I wouldn't say they were listening to Radio Biafra and to IPOB. But after listening to this very man, then you will know. You've listened to what the one Nigerian had to say. Now let me play for you what an American had to say. I wouldn't say in response to him because they were not responding to him. Let me play for you what an American said regarding the brain of black people in Africa. He's a black man. And I wanted to post it on my page and everywhere as a matter of course. You must let people listen, the greatest asset a human being has in life is the ability to reason. Not just to reason, to procreate, to go to work and to eat. The ability to reason things through and be able to transform your environment to serve your need and your purpose. That is why you have aeroplanes. That is why you have motor cars. That is why you have ships. Do you know how it came about? People reasoned beyond their immediate need of food, shelter, and clothing. They now knew that there are some metals and some alloys that occurs in the ground you can put together. And you can get iron and steel. You can beat it into shapes and build an engine and the car will be driving. That's what white people have always done. They are always reasoning, mastering the environment. Always reasoning. As they are busy trying to get a vaccine for coronavirus, most of you are intensely praying and saying to God, come and save us, without the necessary work needed to make that wish become a reality. This evening, I'm asking you to reason. As a Nigerian, you have to reason tonight to understand where your problem is coming from, to understand why there are terrorists in Delta State killing people, to understand why Benue State has been decimated, to understand why the Middle Belt has been taken over by the Fulanis, to understand that Britain gave Nigeria to the Fulani people as a gift because they are daft. They cannot run a proper economy. They need people to control. They cannot control Biafrans. They said it openly. These people, they are too stubborn. We can't control them. Let us give it to people who are foolish. We'll get to Sanusi later on. Go and listen to what Sanusi said. Of course, he's a murderer. I don't like him very much. He killed Gideon Akaloka. Some of you have been salivating on what is happening in Kanu as if it's your business. I haven't seen so many ifulefus saying Sanusi for president. We'll get to that later. I want to underline the foolishness of your average Nigerian or anybody who believes in Nigeria. Anybody who believes in the artificial creation of colonial masters. Anybody who believes in the supremacy of Europeans over African knowledge and understanding. I want to prove it to you. This is not me. Listen very carefully, please. Listen very, very carefully.
From this parasite that bleeds Africa, that bleeds the world, that bleeds Afghanistan, that bleeds the people of Yemen who are dying by the thousands even as we have this discussion. This is the basis of a Brexit. It can't stand together anymore because the host is rejecting the parasite and it's creating crisis throughout Europe and throughout the imperialist world.
Imperialist world. Are you listening?
I think it's necessary, brothers and sisters, to say that there has been a natural trajectory by African people for closer union. We know that we're talking about having this discussion in part because in 1884-85, Europeans sat at a table in Berlin, Germany, not a single African there.
Are you listening? When they decided to create your zoo for you, it was done in Berlin. There was no single African there. How therefore can you say that Nigeria is an African country, an African nation, when no African was there at the table where they decimated you and turned you into what is in essence colonies for the imperialist masters? Are you listening to this very man? You need to listen to him. He is learned. He's an American, actually. He's not even an African. Of course, he's black. But he knows his history. That anybody with pride, if you have pride as a human being, because black people in Africa, we have no shame, we have no pride in us. Nothing left. Just empty vessels all over the place. Shouting one Nigeria. When the idea, the imperialist idea of carving up Africa into tiny, insignificant enclaves, or should I say economic interest of the West, no African was there. Where are you from? I'm a Nigerian, I'm an African. No, you were not there at the table when Nigeria was created. Why am I emphasizing this point this evening? For the world to understand. For you to understand that any time you open your mouth to say you're a Nigerian, you're a disgrace upon yourself. Let us listen to this man. He is not a Biafran. He's black, of course. He was giving this lecture at the very venerable Oxford University in England. Oxford. not Osibanjo University in Ojuelegba, that rubbish place. People going to school on a heap of rubbish on the spin. He was speaking and the white people were listening. Nobody can, you can't counter what is the truth. The Nigerian, you're claiming I'm a Nigerian. If you're in the census in America, and make sure you register as a Nigerian, you are foolish. No African was there. They decided your future for you. You're running about. We Nigerians. Because of your stupidity. Let me finish and listen to this very beautiful lecture by this very intelligent man.
African there and carved up Africa into the territories that we now sometimes call countries and illogically refer to as nations.
Listen to what he says. All the countries they carved up is illogical to refer to Nigeria as a nation. It does not make any sense. It has no basis in logic. It is illogical. You see them, we have PhD, SSD, BBC, and other stupid degrees they have. But their brains are all empty. All empty. All empty. They go to the library, they read, they plagiarize for days. They write an article in Guardian or Vanguard or some newspaper. They have written rubbish. All empty brains, all of them. That's what this man is telling you. It is laughable to refer to the rubbish created in Africa as countries, and that includes Nigeria. It is a disgrace that you call it a nation. It's not me speaking. Listen to proper, clean, crisp English language being spoken by this black American scholar educating students at Oxford University in England. Listen.
Africans didn't do that.
They did not.
It was Europe that did that.
Europe built Africa for you.
Imperialism that required Africa to be divided so that the resources of Africa, both human and material, could come and pave the streets in London and grow the buildings in Amsterdam and bring clean water to New York, while the streets in Sierra Leone are not paved, and the people in Sierra Leone do not have clean water, and there's no national electric grid there.
People in Sierra Leone do not have clean water. He forgot the zoo. Do you have clean water in the zoo? You have borehole. So when Corona comes, he will just wipe out an entire town and villages around it. Are you listening to the man? The reason why there is economic backwardness in Africa, the reason why the Fulani people are killing all of you in the south and you're looking sheepishly as you're being slaughtered, you can't react, is because of your one Nigeria. That's what the man is saying. He's saying here. No paved, no, you know those bad roads you complain. It's because of one Nigeria. When the Europeans were planning or designing your lives for you, they did not have your interest at heart. Understand it. You see, Asians grew up. When the Asians emerged, Japan, South Korea, Taiwan, China, all of them, they realized. I remember when the last colonial governor of Hong Kong, I think Chris Patton, was handing over to the Chinese, Hong Kong, in 1999. I remember very vividly. Do you know what the Chinese people said that day? That 100 years of shame has come to an end. They didn't even want to talk about, they call it 100 years of shame. In Africa, you people are the only ones dancing and jumping up and down. When they left. Chinese, they were crying. I says, it's a whole Chinese empire that somebody came and took our land for 100 years. Do you see the way they reasoned? Are you now not surprised that they're doing very well? Considering that they went through the same rubbish that most of you in Africa went through, but they reasoned things out. Do you know that Singapore was part of Malaysia before? After the colonial master left Britain, they said we cannot stay together. Singapore is on its own, doing very well. Malaysia is on its own, doing exceptionally well. They're doing very well. Now you understand it, don't you? Do you see the difference between an African black man or woman and all other races around the world? Every other race can reason. We are the only people that have refused to reason. That is why you have a Jokuta steel mill that can make it possible for innocent to manufacture cars. It is lying there wasted and moribund. That is why you have 4 refineries with crude oil coming out of the ground. And somebody is somehow laughably trying to justify the importation of finished petroleum products imported from abroad. And you're telling me you're human beings? You're telling me you should be respected? You're telling me you should be regarded? You're telling me that people should look at you as some... No, of course you're nothing. You're an animal. Let's continue. We must listen to this lecture. No African was there. The reason why you're suffering in Africa is because you accepted the nonsense they gave you, like your useless one Nigeria.
There. It is necessary to keep Africa divided by European imperialism and by all the imperialism in order to continue to suck the resources from Africa so that cell phones could exist here, so that Steve Jobs and the others could achieve some great notoriety from the coltan that comes from Congo, where Leopold killed at least 12 to 15 million Africans in order to conquer and keep Africa in the condition it's in today. We talk about a united Africa, an African Union, because of what European imperialism has done to Africa to keep us divided. We know it's true. We saw 100 years or so ago, Marcus Garvey organized the Universal Negro Improvement Association and African Communities Leagues that stretched across the globe.
Marcus Garvey, for your information, was a Biafran, sold as a slave in America. A free man captured and sold as a slave in America. Marcus Garvey, if you do not know. We are the only people that have resisted colonialism. Only Biafran people. There are, no, in fact, in fairness, the Benin did as well. There are 3 people that, in the whole of Africa, 1, 2, 3, 4 people that fought imperialism. Biafran people, Bini people. You see Bini? They fought. Bini fought. The Kikuyus in Kenya, they fought. And the Zulus in South Africa, they fought. These are the 4 people that mounted any form of credible resistance to the march of the West. Not that there's, of course, Western civilization is very good. The education is wonderful, is great. But you should be able to do what Japan did, what China is now doing. You learn, you add it to your own values, and then you develop. That was why I took time to play these clips for you. It wasn't me saying it. Another person was debunking the myth, or should I say the ignorance, that somehow Nigeria is worthy to be put down on a piece of paper as where you come from. Nobody comes from Nigeria. No human being. Because you were not there when it was created. But of course, due to expediency, laziness, inability to rigorously probe any intellectual discourse, you will see them, they will say, oh yeah, I'm a Nigerian. If you ask them 2 questions, they cannot answer. 2 simple questions. What nationality was your grandfather? As maybe Inca is. What nationality was your grandfather before the white man came? Or are you saying you were nobody until the white man came? They cannot answer. That's why I said, if I'm in a debate with them, they cannot last up to 5 minutes. I will destroy them. 5 minutes in they know nothing. You see them writing BB, then their brains are empty. I'm not talking about Wole. Of course, he's a learned man, very intelligent, not him. But for those who carry the issue of one Nigeria on their head, like the very ignorant brother who in America saying, oh God, we are Nigerians, you and who migrated to America? You know this guy, you and who, where are you from? You and who? How many foreign people are in the USA? If not those that they sent there with stolen money, that the British encouraged them to steal. Some of you don't know. You're talking about corruption, all these Otalis in prison, all these in prison. I am asking you, ask Abak Yari and Mama Daura, how come the federal revenue account is empty? It's empty. You claim coronavirus will cause you to lose oil sales or revenue of $19 billion. But you're going to borrow 22 billion. Why you will lose 192 billion from the falling crude oil price. But you're going to borrow 22 billion from China. Are you telling me these people are normal? Are you telling me they are human beings? No wonder they are using terrorism to distract you. As they are pillaging, as they are killing you. Every blessed day, they are keeping you occupied. As they are milking the entire zoo dry. And rendering your lives useless. That is why we do what we do. That is the genesis of the problem with the zoo called Nigeria. You have compared and contrasted the two individuals that spoke. Which one makes sense? Oh, suppose you're Nigerian. So support Nigeria. You're in America. That's Nigeria. The man went into history to tell you how your useless Nigeria was created. And because it was created in a nonchalant, useless fashion, that is why Nigeria will continue to remain useless. That is why you have people like Garibashiru. They can't even write their names. That is why you have quota judges. Oh my God. The closest they came to studying law is by what Prophet Muhammad did in the Quran in Medina. That's how they studied their own law. Look at the aeroplane tunnel. You're telling me that people are not insane in a country founded on common law jurisprudence. Today you're practicing Sharia. A Sharia judge is your chief justice. And you're telling me people are okay. You are there. All of you can open your eyes and see the bombings going on. The destruction of all the Biafran markets in the north. Especially those owned by Igbo people. In the north. In the west. Even in our land, they are burning. Every day they are burning them down. All of you are looking like idiots from one place to the other. As if you've been hypnotized. So you don't know who people responsible for burning down your shops and your offices? Today, there was a bomb explosion in Lagos, in a predominantly Igbo business district. Tomorrow, you see them pretending, oh, we live in Lagos, so we are in Eko, we are in one Nigeria. And then when they hit you, you start crying and start complaining, running to IPOB to do something about it. All of you were there when BSS was formed. You were there. We formed. All of you were talking rubbish morning till night. Talking pure nonsense. What is happening today, I ask you? Is because of your zoo, your so-called one zoo, one Nigeria. That is why you have news like this: headsmen kill man, shoot daughter, abduct wife in Delta community. Not from us, from Guardian. These are people that hate Biafra. From Delta community. You see, let me tell you something. Anybody that actually followed very closely what that man was saying will understand one very simple trick. Once they change your name, they scatter you. They cannot call them Biafrans. This is the same Delta community that Mzogu came from. The man whose name led the North and the West to conclude that the coup in 1966 was an Igbo coup. Today, his community is called Delta Community. Now, listen very carefully to this. When they are killing you and you're telling white people, as we do when we go on a diplomatic mission, oh, I am from Delta. They are killing us. They'll say, oh, Delta. Oh, where is that? Oh, it's in the Niger Delta. The white man or white woman cannot connect the fact that you're from the same community where Murtala Mohammed and Mama Osman Katsina massacred every male child in Asaba. That name has been taken away from you. That Biafra is gone. Igbo is gone. They now call you Delta. Nobody knows what it means. I'm sure now you're following. That was what the man was explaining. By coming to Africa and giving Africans all these very funny, stupid sounding names, they managed to divide them along linguistic, cultural, and ideological lines. These are people that were living to before the white man came. And of course the Fulanis, they took a lot in from Yoruba people, but they never tried. Well, they came once and they died and they ran back. But because of your useless nonsense called Nigeria, now they're in Ebonyi killing. If you say, "Oh, we are Nigerians, we are entitled to take our cattle anywhere we like," are you not following me? We are entitled to take our cattle. Now, the umbrella of terrorism is Nigeria, providing cover to killers and murderers. And they are the future Nigerian soldiers. And you wake up in the morning, "Oh, my daughter and my son, this is our Nigeria. Nigeria, I pledge my whatever rubbish to Nigeria." That is why the headsmen can come, kill the man, shoot the dog.
Tiscali augura a tutti una buona connessione. A chi twitta, a chi social, a chi fibra, a chi giga, a chi carica, a chi scarica, a chi cerca, a chi YouTube, a chi Spotify, a chi ce la fa, a chi vive online, a chi si sente on live.
Con Tiscali hai la fibra fino a 1 giga a soli €26,95 al mese, senza vincoli, con modem super wifi e attivazione veloce gratis. Offerta soggetta a limiti geografici e tecnologici. Vai su tiscali.it, chiama il 130 o visita i negozi Tiscali. Tiscali, on life.
The entire Nigerian army, they will wipe out. You see, Delta State, they will kill everyone in Delta State. But out of our stupidity, oh, it is the army. Look at it for your cover. Look at your governors. Look at them. Look at them. Are they now saving you? The same people that told you that IPOB is the problem. This IPOB, you want to bring war now? Fulani, they have not brought the war to you. The war is now at your doorstep. All of them are looking at IPOB. IPOB, please do something. Please do. What are we going to do? What help have you ever given to IPOB before? The wars we are doing and fighting and dying, did you even acknowledge it? Do you know what we are doing? Are you aware of what we are doing? In the north, when Fulani kill people, they say, "Oh, it's bandits." Now, the same Fulani terrorists in our land, they are called cultists. Do you see how foolish people are? And a journalist with conscience will go into his office and write a piece and say, "Cultists invaded police station." Since when did cultists start invading police station in Biafra land? Since when? The same way that Fulani terrorists in the north were killing people, pillaging, rampaging, sacking villages. One day they called Yoruba editors. Please, help me. We are, Osibanjo is there. You don't want to small market for us. Tinubu is going in 2023. Don't small market for us. Make it bandits. They said, bandits in Nasarawa, bandits in Zamfara, bandits in Benue. And all of you swallow this rubbish, hook, line, and sinker. Do you see? Sometimes, when I'm traveling, I sit at the airport and I'm looking at us, black people. I keep asking God, what is wrong with these people? Is it deliberate that they cannot reason, or there is a part of thinking faculty in our brain that is not functioning? What is wrong with us, I ask? Now, in the south, they are called cultists. So you would think it is your brother who is an undergraduate that is doing all the killings. There is cultists. When they were even in their word, I give them credit for that. Look at them with AK-47. No? How many cultists have you seen with AK-47 before in Biafra land? I'm asking those writing this rubbish. I'll read the news briefly for you so you'll understand the mess you're in. Again, headsmen have killed one man, shot his daughter and abducted his wife after hours of sporadic shooting at Isele Azaba community in Aniocha, Igbo land. North Council area of Delta State. Call it Delta. Aniocha. That's the name, Aniocha. They say, "Oh, I'm not Igbo. The name is Aniocha. Somebody you're from Onichubo, you have Onitsha. In Anambra State, you have Onichubo again in Ebonyi. I'm not Igbo. I don't know who did this to us. I have no idea. I can't believe that a very great race that built pyramids in the past, a great race that gave the world democracy, a great race that developed writing skills in CBD, a great race that had trial by jury, the finest legal system in the world before the Greeks copied from us, from Biafrans. We have become so stupid. I don't know. I keep wondering, is this the same race of people that God blessed from heaven, behaving so foolishly? You have Omonede and Ibonem. Ibuakere, which is Ebanke. They gave to Edo State. So you're telling me today that even if they come today now, you see Anambra State, if they cut Anambra, you see Ogbaro area of Anambra, believe you me and on nature, if they come tomorrow now, they carve them out and say they're Niger Delta. I am telling you, if you go there the next day, they'll tell you they're from Niger Delta. Have you seen such stupidity? Who are the people to blame? Ohaneze, Pandef, and the so-called governors. Every governor now, as you know why they're quiet as they're killing our people. Everybody is hoping that a Fulani person will call them to become VP in 2023. They're not running to become president. No, VP. That's president. I warned you, they said I was insulting people. That these people you claim they are the ones that will kill you. They will keep quiet. As the enemies are coming, they're keeping quiet. If I say, oh, I don't want to tamper with allocation from Abuja. There is a way. Oh, okay, say me. That's a way we do it. You know, that's a way. You know that stupid phrase. That's a way to do it. But they're killing us. Our priests are dying in Enugu. Our mothers are being beheaded in Ebonyi. IPOB is fighting to the best of its ability. The reason why we don't make a lot of things public is because we don't want the Fulani to say to the world, oh, you can see they are terrorists fighting us in the bushes. And there are many things that we are doing that we can't tell you live on air. But some of you want that information. Before you can support IPOB, you want it. But if we give it to you, you're jeopardizing the work that we are doing. These are the things you ought to understand. These are the things you need to know. Our markets are burning everywhere. There is no compensation, absolutely nothing. Up until when will these things keep happening before we realize that God has given us a way out of the mess we are in? You know, by nature, we used to be very charitable people before, but not anymore. We have people who are from Biafra, should I say, south of the zoo, living in the USA. Some of you are in Europe, you're in Asia. But until your family members are killed, you will never rise up to say what is happening is very bad. Now, in this very village, Isele Azaba community in Aniocha, now I'm sure that Isele Azaba community in the US, then they will now wake up. They'll start writing communique. We are not happy. We won't tolerate this nonsense again. But I was in the US and I told you what was going to happen. I warned you. I gave you, it was 6 years, was it? 6 years I warned you in advance. 6 years, that is how miraculous God is. God in heaven used IPOB, used the microphone he placed in front of me to tell you what was going to happen before. It is not to say all these idiots collecting money from you. Name of miracle. I told you that I described what was going to happen is now happening. And they say it's in Delta community. Delta community. Unbelievable. 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 The government, they struck at night. They came to the community and abducted people. Killed them. You will not see Yoruba papers. Never. Yoruba will never, ever. They won't report it. But when the daughter of Fashoranti died, everybody, including myself, everybody was lamenting, complaining. That gave the Yoruba governors the moral impetus to float Amotekun and to also prevail upon Fulani not to stop or do anything foolish with Amotekun. But now they're killing our people. No. Why? Because we live in Lagos and we live in Abuja. Abuja belongs to the Fulani. Lagos belongs to the west of the Yoruba. We have nothing. Everybody runs there. Why do you think that our politicians in all these places, they behave like people who cannot reason properly? We are dying. And don't wait until the death comes to your community before you do anything. We are dying. You must do something now. Now. And what is that thing you're going to do? Of course, it's IPOB. What are I going to do? Who else can stop them if not IPOB? Who has been stopping? If not for IPOB, by now, you'll be sleeping, you'll be hearing it in America or in Europe that they have collected your sister or your mother. Because of IPOB. Yet, the amount of opposition we keep getting. I have warned here. Any PG, whatever rubbish they call you, President General, we catch you recruiting anybody for community policing. That you regret your life. There's still time, I will say, they've not killed all of us yet. For people to go and join the nearest IPOB family and do the right thing. Support our effort to defend our land against the vandals from the Sahel. Listen, the same Delta community, the same Delta, this time around in Ethiopia, East Local Government area, they said they saw military men, Janjaweed, Fulani, in camouflage, bringing supplies to terrorists. Supplies, this is, and everything I'm telling you is from Nigerian newspapers, not from IPOB. No, never. They were making supplies, the same thing they did to Hausa people in southern Kaduna. Massacred them. That's not what they're doing in our place. Are you hearing them doing this thing in Yoruba land? The answer is capital no, because Yorubas have formed a regional security outfit. And some of you wonder why but when they banned, some of you forget that we are operating under a ban. Some of you do not know that Nigerian government and their agents, some of them, they have all these useless groups. Upper River Benue, set up or Lower Benue River. Mwokoko. In Lagos, after doing errand boy for traitors, they can't be talking rubbish. They write to the world. Before I go to any country, if I announce now I am traveling to Canada, they will write. Some of them are in the US. They will write, oh, Nnamdi Kanu is a terrorist. The group was banned by Nigeria. Don't let him in. Don't you know that? Some of you tend to forget the very stringent conditions that IPOB appears to be working under. Despite their designation of IPOB as a terror group, will continue to function. We remain formidable on the ground in Biafra land. What does that tell you? That is the might of this very movement. Of course, all thanks to Elohim in heaven. In Abraka community, Ethiopia, East Local Government area of Delta State, according to Vanguard newspaper, people have come out to corroborate and said that the army we are supplying, the terrorists doing the killing. So they're doing the killings, I should say. Did the channels TV report it? Of course not. How about all the other major Yoruba papers? Oh no, they won't report it. Why are they not reporting it, I ask? Because they want us all dead. All dead. There is only one way out, and that is IPOB. The time now is 12 minutes past 8 p.m. in the land of Biafra. We are live under this Radio Biafra live presentation. Going to the whole world. Things are happening, going to the whole world. I like this very news, especially this very one. Do you know why I like it so much? Because I'm never tired of referring people. I saw the video clip yesterday, and of course, China said, if you can post it, please give it to Amaka to post. That speech I gave to World Igbo Congress in 2015 in Los Angeles, USA. You see how that is how God works. Elohim will choose somebody and put words in his or her mouth, and they speak, and it comes to pass. I went to Los Angeles and I said to our people, as I said during my last broadcast, we need guns and we need bullets to defend ourselves. Now listen very carefully. After how many years? 2015, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. After 5 whole years. Police told us to defend ourselves or run for our lives. Nigerian police telling people, because in Ogun State, the land grabbers came Fulani in Ogun State, grabbing land because they're in charge. Abakiyari, they can do anything they like. They can go and bring in a little boy from Sudan and say he's the president. I look at people, oh, President Buhari, President Buhari. And I ask them, does that thing there in Arugungu Fishing Festival look like a 60-year-old to you? Talk less of being 80. Here is a President Buhari. Oh, leave it. Oh, this thing you people are saying. I said, no wonder Otto von Bismarck started in Berlin 1888 and drew map for Africa. They didn't even bother to come to Africa to draw the map for us. They were so useless. They had to do it in Germany. And they shared the paperwork. Say, Germany got Namibia. And some of you don't know that Southern Cameroon used to belong to Germany. You see Cameroon, it used to belong to Germany. Do you see Togo? Togo was German colony before. Some of you didn't know this. It was after the Second World War that Germany lost. As a reparation, they gave Togo to France and Northern Cameroon to France as well, and Southern Cameroon to Britain. It was the place beside of 1961 that took Southern Cameroon, our people in Bakassi, back again, which is Ambazonia, to Cameroon. Simple history. Some of us don't know. They sat in Berlin, divided Africa. The same thing I told the world, or should I say I told our people in 2015. Today, in 2020, 5 a.m., 14th of March, 2020, Nigerian police are now telling a community in Ogun State, defend yourselves or run for your lives. That was what I said, and they said I was a warmonger. Now the Kanu is looking for war. He's trying to fight a war. But now the police is telling you to defend yourselves or to run for your dear lives. Sometimes I wonder now who is the miscreant. Of course, I'm very happy to be the #1 miscreant. I love it very much. These are they're miscreants. They are touts. Those IPOB, they are miscreants and they are touts. They are hungry. Those touts and hungry people are miscreants. They're the ones now laughing at all of you. Because the things that you're now saying were exactly what those miscreants told you many, many years ago. Out of your foolishness, your pride, your envy, your greed, and your jealousy. You didn't listen. Now, the people in Ogun State, Ogun is Yoruba. Why are you suffering? Why would the police ask you to defend your lives or you run? Why? Because you're in one Nigeria. The reason why you cannot do anything about your plight is because your brother, Baba Tinubu, is running in 2023. Because of that, all your land will go now. It will disappear. And many people will be slaughtered because some politicians want to contest elections. That is why you can see the entire Southeast and South paralyzed. Once in a while, they will do meeting. We are going to form our own regional security. We will. We are going to do something. They all go back to the offices, awaiting the next batch of allocation. That's stuffing it away, having fun. We have to maintain the peace and security of our state. But Fulani is there, killing people every day. You claim you're a leader, you claim you're a politician, you claim you have conscience, and the people are dying and you're doing nothing about it. Absolutely nothing about it. Very, very dreadful. Very, very dreadful. We bring you the news that the world may know that we know what is happening. Of course we know. We know what is happening. And now at last they have realized that when I said the same things about the dead Buhari when he was alive, his regime, people said he's insulting the president, our president, you're insulting him. This Radio Biafra should be closed down. He's causing trouble. He's inciting trouble. But Oyedepo said that Buhari's government is the most wicked in Nigeria's history. These were the same people that castigated IPOB. They ridiculed me when I was telling them that the Janjaweed have come through Buhari to complete the work that Ottoman Donfodio started. They said that was his hate speech. I was trying to foment war. Today they have seen the light. And as I'm praying today also, I pray for Yoruba media. As Yedeko have now seen the light, so one day will Yoruba editors see the light, but I doubt it very much because there's very heavy money involved. The same way the zoo goes about the world, bribing people, trying to influence them away from facing the reality that's on the ground in the zoo, the mayhem, the death, the killings, and the pillaging going on. They turn a blind eye. I am very grateful that Yedeko have now seen the light and have declared openly that Buhari's government is the most wicked in the history of the zoo called Nigeria. Now, people are saying, you see how daft people are. They said they will not give presidency to the great Igbo race because of IPOB. Excuse me. But not one single Fulani ruler of Nigeria has ever done well before. But some of you fell for the garbage the stage managed bunkum of Sanusi. Some people, I saw their names. Oh, Sanusi should be defended. Sanusi for president 2023. So you're going from, I don't know, sometimes I can't describe it, but I don't want to speak against the spirit. I don't want to say some things out of anger. But there is something wrong with us in our brain, honestly speaking, black people. Something is wrong somewhere, I can assure. Something is definitely wrong. We are stupid. We are useless, I tell you. There is a saying where we come from. If the road is very good, you go, at least you use it more than once. No single Fulani ruler of Nigeria has ever done anything decent. You want to go and bring another one? The presiding bishop of Living Faith Church Worldwide, also known as Winners Chapel, Bishop David Oyedepo, has described the regime of President Major General. The regime, I love that, the regime of, because he's dead, in Saudi Arabia. He described it as the worst in history, the Abba Kyari regime, the very worst in history. They come and they jail some Igbo politicians for you. And meanwhile, the TSA account, the joint account is empty. They keep going to China to go and borrow. All of you are as if you've been hypnotized. You see, they used terror to strike fear into some of you. They took over the judiciary. So even a governor cannot do it, because even a governor is frightened out of his mind. They can call him to Supreme Court and take away. Tell INEC, yes, I'm here. Stand up. Are you INEC? Yes, I'm here. Are you Jiga or Jiwa, whatever they call him? Take his certificate and issue it to Mr. Abiodun. And that's the end of it. In a court of law, it is you. Unbelievable. You know what I've said it? The very worst. Some of you want to go back. He says Sanusi is good. Sanusi, let Sanusi go. These are the same people that punish anybody if they feel that you are out of line. They get the big mama Britain to help strangulate you internationally. But in IPOB, they have failed. This is Radio Biafra. The time now is 22 minutes past the hour of 8 and 22 past the top of the hour, wherever you are on this earth. We are live and we are direct. The world is now beginning to see what we saw 5 years ago. This is the beginning. All of you that cast aspersions, castigated, pilloried what we're doing. The time has come. As I told you then, I remember one of my brokers, I said, I don't know how to put that in English language. I won't say come and lick my eye. It doesn't sound very good. But I said it. And when the time comes, I will tell you, I told you so. Our people are dying in Ebo, in Anambra, in Benue, in Delta. People are being slaughtered. Businesses set ablaze, destroyed. Bombs going off everywhere. Now who is the miscreant? Who is the idiot? Who is the unlearned fool? Is it not those politicians who were talking rubbish? Mad people. Mad people. Mad people. That boy, I want that picture published, please. That boy that went to Argongo Fishing Festival and disgraced Jew. They wanted to arrest Jubril. They lie. Oh no, it's nothing. He went to shake his hand. They went to school together. You know, when they start lying, they forget themselves. Like Mohammed said that president, it was his classmate at Katsina Secondary School. He didn't know when he said it because, of course, the boy is the age mate of Jubril. So they didn't know what they were saying. He wanted to shake his hand. They are old friends. They wanted to shake hands. And the boy was shot in the leg. People saw he was shot in the leg, wounded. The next day, we are so useless, black African people. So useless. Our brains are so, it's like sawdust. We cannot listen very well. They brought a look-alike. They forgot to buy exactly the same cap the person they shot and killed was wearing. They forgot. Now they know IPOB very well. They brought out the picture. Okay, can't you see? He's his classmate. I want to shake president. I mean Polytechnic, but the president is your classmate. Go and look at it very well. Of course, we told them that, but Lai Mohammed and the DSS, you forgot to take. You should have gotten the cap the dead boy was wearing. They forgot until we showed them. Can't you see the cap? Is it the same cap? You arrested him. You took him away. He never had any change of clothes. Nothing. You brought him the next day with a new hat on. That's what they did. When Jubril was dead at King's Cross, brain dead, King's Cross Hospital, they brought out his pictures. Oh, he's getting well. He's with the Archbishop Welby. He's with Archbishop Shanahan. He's with Archbishop Ajay Crowder. They're taking photo. Tinubu was there. They prepared your minds. You know, sometimes I don't get upset anymore because, honestly speaking, I can see why Africa is suffering. To be frank with you, we don't reason very well. I swear. Blacks will know we don't. That is the truth. We don't. Now people have bought it. Oh, it was the president's classmate. They were together at boys' high school in the Katsina. But you can see that the cap, the new picture they brought of the new video they did of the boy, of the new replacement, is not like the one of yesterday. You can see it very clearly. You know that Jubril, you can see Jubril's face. You can tell he's not up to 60 years old. You can tell, you can see, you are not blind. But out of fear, Abba Kyari, what's that one again? Mohammed, is it Toko Buratai? They've used that, they have frightened all of you, all cowards. Lily-livered cowards, all of you, so-called Nigerians. You can't do nothing from the south. You are weak. You're decrepit, you're nothing. How dare you even mention IPOB? The only people standing. The only people standing is IPOB, the indigenous people of Biafra. No other soul is standing. No other soul is standing. Nothing can be hidden from IPOB. We know everything. Absolutely everything. If you want, we give you the date that coronavirus will start making its travel around the zoo. We have all the information. As they say in Igbo, I can see how North has already destroyed itself. Somebody's writing this from Yoruba man, Dele Shobo Wole. That's his name. He writes brilliantly sometimes, I must say. Brilliantly. You know, when they came to... I when did I say that? I don't know. I keep going back to the preachings that I gave in times gone by. I remember coming on air and saying it one day, that every pain inflicted on Biafran people as a result of the persecution going on in Nigeria, that everybody will suffer exactly the same fate. That was what I said. Exactly the same. I remember saying it. Today, most Fulani, they are in IDP camps in the north. And now the same way we're burying people during the war is how they're burying their own today. And it's a Yoruba man writing. He said, bandits in the north. He did not have the courage to say Fulani headsmen, Fulani terrorists. Who are the bandits? They are Fulani people. They are Fulani people. They impose fines and taxes, send notices, control spaces, determine life and death, and operate without challenge. They operate without challenge. According to Senator Shehu Sani, he said it this month. Bandits everywhere in the north, no control. But Buratai said there are security challenges in the east. Operation Crocodile Smile 14, Operation Python Dance 41. But in the north, they think they are punishing us. They think they are making us suffer. The more they concentrate their firepower, their military might and strength in Biafra land, the more their fellow terrorists are ravaging the north. They think they're smart. They don't know that this God we worship is exceptional. That's why we call Chukwukika Biama all the time. Elohim, Adonai, El Shaddai. God knows what he's doing. And as I said before, allow me to repeat. Everybody who had a hand in the pain inflicted upon Biafrans, you will suffer twice that pain. I don't like what is happening in the Middle Belt, but it is just God reminding them that what you did in 66 and 77 is not very good. In the North itself, it has become a region of endless funerals and perpetual bereavement. Perpetual. Every day there will be killings in the North, abductions and banditry. Every blessed day is a curse. Under this climate, you think you can salvage Nigeria? You must be dreaming. As somebody quite rightly said, everywhere you go in the North everywhere you go in the world is always the North giving problem. He said North Korea, North Yemen, Northern Sudan. Some people are very funny. And Northern Nigeria. It's always the North giving problems. Always the North giving problems. Always the North giving problems. We must preach this very gospel that heaven may bear us witness, not man. Because the people that inhabit Africa right now, frankly speaking, they cannot reason very well. This Shobowale went on to say that I wish that historical Lord Lugard and the King or Queen of England, who granted him the powers to rule and ruin our lives, are alive today to behold the explosions being set off by the time bomb they planted in the north of Africa in 1914. This is what we've been preaching. Very simple and neat. I want everybody to read it. It's a very compelling article written by Dele Shobowale. It's in Vanguard newspaper. Very brilliant article. People are now beginning to accept our premise, our postulations from time. This title, The North Has Already Destroyed Itself. Part 1. A very compelling article. Very simple and very neat. Who brought this pain upon us? This Yoruba writer very succinctly articulated in just one paragraph. I wish that historical Lord Lugard and the King or Queen of England, who granted him the powers to rule and ruin our lives. I never believe I will hear a Yoruba man say this about Nigeria. Ruin our people. When they brought us the Bible, they didn't take the Bible to the north. No, they didn't go to the north. It's us now in the south, clapping our hands and praising God, which is a good thing to do, of course. To praise God is good. Praising God, they said, oh, our Lord Jesus Christ, our Lord. And then somebody came to your village and his name is Lord Lugard. Oh dear, this is advanced 419. Because in the Bible we are reading about our Lord, our Savior, our Lord Jesus Christ is coming, our Savior. And somebody came to your village and asked, oh, what's his name? His name is Lord Lugard. So that means he's supposed to come before Jesus will come. So anything he says is fine. That's why people accepted one Nigeria. Because it was founded by somebody called Lord Lugard. Lord Lugard. You cannot understand. Lord Lugard. After all, the only Lord our people knew that time was Lord in the Bible, which is Jesus Christ. Our Lord, which is Yahweh Yeshua, not Jesus. Yahweh Yeshua in the Bible. And somebody came and they said his name is Lord Lugard. Hey! Also our Lord Lugard in your village. That means he's a precursor to Jesus coming now. Do you see, are you now seeing the depth of our stupidity? As the black people, useless, abominable. But I'm very, very happy that the man that I played his clip earlier and now this very article, he has gone straight to the point. What is that problem according to Dele Shobowale? Dele is saying that the problem is, I wish this Lugard or King or Queen of England can come and see the mess they have created by this one Nigeria from a Yoruba man. I can't believe it. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. We preach the gospel of truth, the gospel of redemption, the gospel of hope. If you take away your bias and listen to the preaching on Radio Biafra, you will understand that everything we say is the truth. That is why we are whiter than white and whiter than snow. That is why God gave us the blessing and the grace. Anything we say comes to pass. If our hands are tainted, if we are dark in our spirit, there is no way we can say something and it will come to pass. If the Spirit of God is not with us, if Elohim is not piloting IPOB, there is no way I will say anything will come to pass. But everything I say comes to pass. Because the presence of God is in our lives. The presence of Elohim is in our lives. We preach the gospel of truth. A Yoruba man have recognized it as before him Awolowo did as well. He called it a mere geographical expression. A mere geographical expression. Mere geographical expression. That's what he called it. Let us continue. History does not tell us its alternatives, according to this Yoruba man. In other words, we don't know what would have happened if amalgamation had not occurred. What would have happened is that you would have been on your own, I will be on my own, Fulani will be on their own, and we can compete. Why is Asia doing very well? Because they are allowed to compete. People compete. Competition brings out the best in people. He continued to say, but we are now beginning to see the beginning of the end. He accepts. IPOB has destroyed the zoo. Of course we have. We are beginning to see the beginning of the end of the geographical expression. They formed and named Nigeria by the satraps' concubine. As somebody said today, he said, why are people complaining about side chicks? That some people are terrible, honestly. He said, after all, Nigeria was named by a side chick. Her name was Flora Shaw, the girlfriend of Lugard. The girlfriend of Lugard. They were living in sin. For those that claim they know the Bible, they were living in sin when she named you Nigeria. She was drunk. She went to a party in the evening in Ikoyi. They were dancing and making merry, having fun. Like, oh, darling, what do we call these niggers? Look at them. Can say, darling, let's call them Nigerians. That's how you became a Nigerian. You were named by the concubine of a drunkard, a drunken woman in the night, without shame. Gave you Nigeria. I'm a Nigerian. We Nigerians. And I keep saying it all the time. I don't know why God mixed me and these people together. Honestly, I like them. I don't like these people. They cannot reason. Like they don't reason. They don't think. They do not reason and they don't think. A concubine. A concubine. Unbelievable. I am a Nigerian. A concubine living in sin named you Nigeria, and you're jumping up and down. Shameless fools everywhere. Shameless fools. I can't stand them. My God in heaven knows I cannot stand a stupid black man. When I see a black African listening like an idiot, I just... Let me not say something that I will live to regret. This is Radio Biafra. We are live and we are direct. And the world is listening to us because we are preaching the truth. The truth and nothing but the truth. That's what we preach here. That's what we preach here. I have warned the Yoruba media before, please. Some of them are doing a very good job, but some are still trapped in their sinful ways. They said, they wrote, in fact, it's not even worth mentioning. We won't support South security outfit, militants. Who are these idiots? But it's from nation, but you have Amotekun in Yoruba land. You're gleefully writing, we won't support South security outfit, militants. That is not like South. As I reminded everybody the other day. Because our people don't know there is strength in unity. Anybody telling you about South or Niger Delta, that person is an agent of Fulani North. Because Fulani will never tell you, we are forming a Fulani security outfit. They will tell it is the North. And they will come all the way to Kwara State, all the way to Benue, all the way to Jalingo. From the Sahel. People never reason. When I see some of these governors say, oh, I'm a governor, I'm from the South, we the South. Ask yourself this question. Why is it that regardless of how dominant the Fulanis are, in terms of their religious, political, and should I say economic hegemony, they still want to take every other person in the North with them? What does that tell you? What does that tell you? That you are here dividing yourself. And this Yoruba person is writing, we won't support. Who are these militants, I ask? They won't support. And they are burning down markets. Bombs are going off. It's cultism. Because these are cults. And I asked them, how come these cults started since this Janjaweed government came into place? Or the regime of the late Buhari? All of a sudden, cults are on the streets, killing people, shooting people in broad daylight. What sort of cultism is that? Militants. We say no to security outfit. They will take money from anything and they will write whatever rubbish suits them. Very, very sad indeed. We are live and we are direct, and this is Radio Biafra. Wherever you're joining us from, we are preaching the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Because that must be preached. That must be preached. Uzadema is trying to... there was a video I actually saw the other day, which is quite interesting. Very, very interesting. Do you know what that very video was saying? The video was saying, Modo was captured in that very video saying, I don't know people who are calling, they shouldn't be calling, but they are. Our lines are not open. They should not be calling because our lines are not open. I saw a video. I want that video posted, please. Amaka, Chinasa, find that video. Any Igbo who touches an Awusa man should first kill me in Nyanwodo. I stand with the unity of Nigeria. I just wanted to refer to it. These are the type of leaders you have. Anybody, before you kill Fulani man, you first kill Nyanwodo. But Fulani men are now in Enugu killing. They're in Ebonyi killing. They're in Asaba killing. In Delta State killing. They're in Onichubo killing. Any Igbo man that wants to kill. Oh, so before we kill those that have come to kill us, we should first come to Enugu and kill you. These are the leaders you have. These are the shameless people you have as leaders. Very, very disgraceful. Very, very disgraceful. Now it is cultism. Cult now carry AK-47 in broad daylight. And people are buying into this junk every day. I think that Nigerian journalists, sometimes they do not recognize their responsibility They don't understand how important their work is and the need to remain objective at all times. I know there is hunger. People have to feed their families. Of course, we are black people. Always the need of the stomach will always supersede whatever interest we are fighting for. In some people, I know that. But thankfully, and thank God for IPOB, we are not so disposed, so to speak. We do things differently here. But I think it is the duty of most journalists to try to report accurately what is happening and try to be as objective as possible in their analysis as well. Any Igbo who touches a Fulani man should first kill me. I stand with the unity of Nigeria. And today you are complaining that those people that you claim we should kill you before going to kill, that they're carrying assault weapons openly, which means there is something called foresight and judgment. Before you're voted in to become the US president, the most thing that concern people is your judgment and foresight. If you have vision, if you can understand, if you can comprehend issues before they actually come to fruition. It appears that in the world and his Hanese and Diaran and Dioshi, that they know nothing. If you so before you kill any Fulani man, come and kill me first. And they're busy burning down businesses. They are busy raping our mothers and cutting off their heads. They are busy abducting our daughters. And you're busy loving Nigeria's unity. Who is the fool? Who is the fool? Who is the fool? Things are so bad that even the Efulefus that never said anything before regarding the deplorable state of security in our land, they are now speaking of. The former governor of Imo State, Zachiku Denwa. He said Southeast governor should form regional security outfit now. But he knows it's not possible. Who is going to form? Do you want them to be recalled? Their certificate of return taken from them and given to somebody else? Article they know it cannot happen. It's only IPOB, and very soon we will unveil. People say, they keep saying very soon, we are in a hurry. You are in a hurry. Now you've realized you're in a hurry. So all these years we've been telling you, you didn't listen. Now you know you are in a hurry. Now you know that IPOB is right. Now you know that only IPOB can save you. Only now that you know. 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 Governor of Imo State, former governor of Imo State, of course, Achiku Denwa, has expressed surprise that the governors of the Southeast are yet to form the regional security outfit in interview he granted to the Sun newspaper. Why would they form it? Why? If there is no IPOB, how is that possible? These are the people that, but when we formed it, all of you ran to your Fulani masters and said to them, Rankadede, that Nnamdi Kanu and all this is IPOB, what they're doing in our land. Anywhere he goes, people follow him. We need to do something. Come and help us. Come and kill him for us. As they say in Igbo, that's where it is. All of you that betrayed IPOB, now you know that only IPOB can save you. We are just keeping quiet to see if the governors will form, but of course we know they can't. Let them go and form now. Let's see who. Let them call people to come. Even or offer them 50,000 each to come and see if anybody will talk to you. That is how disciplined we are. I don't think there's any movement in Africa, even before now, that is as disciplined as IPOB is. I don't think so. I don't think so. Because we know what we are pursuing. Everybody is now lamenting. Go and form a security outfit. Go and form. So when BSS was formed, what did you do? You sabotaged it. You sabotaged it for no reason. Not only Atiku Denwa, even former governor of course, one of their so-called leading lights, Jim Wobodo. A man I used to love and respect in those days. When we were young, when he was the governor of Anambra State, and Anambra was doing his magic in Imo. He was also doing very well in Anambra. And after a while, all that, that need to serve the Fulani, and he lost his way a bit. His name is Jim Wobodo. He has charged the governors of the Southeast to make haste and establish regional security outfit in the mode of our Moteku without delay. Who is? Are you telling me that? So let us be reasonable. Some people sometimes they wonder, oh, why we're against Hope Uzodinma. We're against him because he's the Fulani stooge. Nobody voted for him. Are you telling me that Imo State, with the spate of defections from PDP to APC, and with a confirmed Fulani slave, in power in Imo State, you are telling me that Imo State House of Assembly will sit down, deliberate, and vote for security outfit? Is that what you're telling me? Of course, you know that is not true. You know that is not true. It can never ever happen. And there are some people, instead of them to swallow their pride and their ignorance, their stupidity, and their hopelessness, and admit publicly that IPOB has always been right. No, they won't. Instead, they gossip from pillar to post, which I love anyway, because I never respond. I love it, as I keep saying. If people are not talking about what you're doing, talking about your movement, talking about you, that means you're nothing. I remember once Elizabeth Taylor said that the worst thing, National Enquirer in America is a tabloid magazine that writes, very sensational and often very false account of the life of celebrities in Hollywood. And I recall Elizabeth Taylor, the very famous actress of Cleopatra and many more great movies. Like Elizabeth Taylor actually said once that not to be talked about on National Enquirer is worse than being talked about. Do you understand? Not to be mentioned means that you are nobody, you are nothing. It's better to be mentioned than not to be mentioned on National Enquirer, no matter how bad the story may be. So when people talk about us, I am so happy. We give people sleepless nights. I am so happy. People go to sleep thinking, oh, how do we pull down IPOB? What are we going to write tomorrow to make people hate them? But our people are very clever. The more you write about us, the more they read about us, the more they come now to listen to Radio Biafra. The more thousands log in to listen to us, and millions all over the world, and the more they get the very good news and the more they stay. So it's a very good advert. People shouldn't worry themselves too much about it. It's a very good advert. I love it. Because they're talking about us. They can never talk about themselves. It's always about us. Because IPOB is everywhere. We are the largest mass movement on this very earth. I said the very largest on this very earth. The largest mass movement ever. Forget all the work that Britain and the zoo are doing to try to curtail our work. Try to make sure that we don't get the level of exposure and reportage that we deserve. We continue to work. Because as they said, hard work never killed anyone. Hard work can never kill anybody. Instead, it will bring the right results. Nobody is lamenting. But you people, we are not lamenting when Operation Python Dance came to my house on the 14th of September because I set up BSS to protect you. To protect all of you. To protect all of you. You went and called Fulani to kill us. Now, they're killing our people. You're asking governors, the same governors that proscribed and banned IPOB, that connived to tag IPOB a terrorist group because somebody is looking to become the vice president to a Fulani man. Nwobolo lamented that there are many deaths in the region as a result of insecurity, noting that Nigerian police have been there without addressing the situation. They want something stronger. Something that only IPOB can give. Only IPOB and nobody else. And they know it. They understand it. They are wasting their time. Even the gossipers, they know this. Very, very well. I love it. Everybody's waiting for IPOB to do something. And we are going to do something. I can assure you. And as we are planning to set up what will defend our people in the public, we're doing so privately now. Some of you can see it. But to give it a public face very soon is what we are working on. And as we are doing it, they continue to reduce the population of Benue communities. They janjaweed the Fulani people. Because they understand. They isolate you. They kill you. No fewer than 7 mourners were feared dead and scores injured in a fresh attack by armed headsmen, Fulani headsmen, on Chongu. Ayev and Yohembe communities of Guma local government area of Benue State. These ones, they won't even let you bury your loved ones in peace. They go there and they slaughter you. It was gathered that the headsmen invaded Chongo community in Mbawa Council Ward, where mourners had gathered for a wake keep at about 11 p.m. on Friday, killing 4 of the victims and injuring several others. If it is down in Biafra, they will say it is cultists. We have been trying to let the world understand this. We have been trying our best to let humanity come to the realization that terrible things are happening in the zoo. Terrible things are happening in the zoo. People are dying and people are being killed. According to an eyewitness, these suspects were the same people, the same gang that moved into neighboring Seayev and Toyembe in Mbania Kindred, where they also attacked another group of mourners, shooting sporadically, killing 3 and injuring several of the mourners. Who gave them the guns? They said they came from Mali, they came from Chad, they are from Libya. Who gave them the guns? It is Toko Buratai, is the Fulani political class that gives them money, guns, to go and grab land for them. And that is what they're doing. And some of you are blind. Unfortunately, you cannot see it. Very, very sad indeed. The killings are continuing. Now they are targeting mourners. And the reason why this is very painful is that some of the people being targeted are also Biafran communities. You know, Biafra starts all the way from Benue into Kogi and all the way to Boni, all the way from Bakassi in the east to Ebanke, which is Ibakre in Edo State. And people keep asking me all the time, oh, they included Kogi, our Kogi. You know this foolishness with a Nigerian, the brain of a Nigerian. This evening, as was the case earlier, a few months ago when I did the similar piece on Benue State, I want to take time this evening. No, I won't take too much time because our time is coming up. I want to just, quickly rush through this for people to understand that there are Igbo communities in Kogi State. IGB or Igbo, yes. Ohanese abandoned them. Successive governors abandoned them because they dare not speak. They are serving the Fulani Caliphate. Oh, this man is an Igbo prominent. Rubbish. Crap. They were there when they carved out our land and called it Niger Delta. They were there when they carved. Do you know there are 3 Igbo local governments in Benue? They are part of the north. The Caliphate, the Fulani, considers them as their own property. The same thing in Kogi. Let me tell you, because some people do not know, so we tell them. They keep saying, Igbos, Southeast is too small for you because you gerrymandered the borders. And the stupid, hopeless, cowardly politicians allowed the Fulani. They know IPOB cannot allow them to get away with it. They know that very well. They limit Igbos to only the Southeast. Igbo Biafrans, of course. They don't know that we have been, I've said it before, a gala. As I've said before, in Obosi, you have the Ata of Obosi. You have a gala people in Obosi. Obosi in Anambra State today. So that goes to tell you, but I won't dwell on that now. There is a place called Akpanya under Egalamela. Some of you know Egalamela, Odolu local government area of Kogi. It is Igbo. There is Wajala, the son of the soil. Wajala. Umuoye, Ubulie Umweze, under Ebaji local government of Kogi, in Kogi State. They said it's part of the Caliphate, part of the people perish out of ignorance. Ignorance is a disease. Kogi is Biafra. There is Ebokwe Ozara Ama Eke in Kogi. Hi, these people are evil. And he's a distinguished politician. None of them ever rose up to ask Fulani, why are you taking Igbo land and carving it into states you say are in the north? They kept quiet. All that mattered to them was allocation. Once you give them money, that's all. They sell their soul and their conscience. That is why their people are being killed and they cannot rise up to do something about it. Ebokwe Ozara Ameke Amampong Amo Wane Camp Amo Uku Ama Die Fionha Amufulu and many more. There also in Igalamela Odolu, the government area in Kogi. They say, why Nnamdi Kanu, you added Kogi to your map of Biafra. Tell us why. Can you hear them ask ridiculous questions? There are many more. There is a Kavrugo, for those who don't know, under the semi-Bajilo government area. That is what they have done to us. And some of you are busy salivating over Sanusi because you don't love, or you don't love yourselves, so to speak. Not others. You don't love your own self. Have you forgotten that it was Sanusi that killed Akaluka? This Sanusi is a murderer, don't you know that? A supporter of child marriage, don't you know? I saw some of them, and I have said it before. Anybody you see with a Biafran name writing about Sanusi, as I will read very shortly, that person was fathered by a vandal from the north. Fathered by a vandal from the north. You can hear, even when this man was dethroned, the whole BBC wrote, Nigeria's Emir of Kanu dethroned for disrespect. Have BBC ever written about an Igwe before, or Eze? Say Nigeria's Eze or Nigeria's Igwe. But they said Nigeria's Emir to give the world the impression that Nigeria is an Islamic enclave. But some of you cannot understand. I will read the BBC headline for you. Nigeria's Emir of Kanu dethroned for disrespect. Manipulating your minds, telling the world Nigeria is an Islamic caliphate. Not knowing that they are in the minority. That these people came from Futajalon. These people are wanderers. These are Normans that drink the blood of cattle. These are some of you are promoting him. Oh, he's going to be the next Sanusi for president. I laughed. I said, I don't know the type of God that created me and these people together. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. And rightfully so. There's a group in Yoruba land have asked him to return to the north, which is where he belongs. And there are some people running around rallying support for Igbo presidency. You are wasting your time. Presidency is not our problem. Our problem is Biafra. Not your useless presidency. We're not doing anything with it. So it's just for them to be able to understand. We don't need your presidency. We need Biafra. It is Biafra that we need. We need Biafra, not your useless presidency. And at last, they have also acknowledged that the economy is not working. Even Dangote have said the economy is not working. And somebody said, with the likes of you, how can the economy work? He runs a cartel, a monopoly, more or less, salt, sugar, pasta, and cement. eBay to try to challenge him, which is the hallmark of any, should I say, laissez-faire economy. Capitalist economy. They jailed him. He does money laundering. When they steal money, they give it to him. He will wash it clean for them using his businesses. Africa's richest man by foot. So that is a fact. That is what is happening. And that brings us to an end of our proceedings this very evening. But before I close, I must make it very clear. I had a meeting with the USA family leadership, doing a very marvelous work in the USA. I'll be there, of course, our North America rep, and Dr. Koro, who is the USA coordinator. Fantastically well, they're doing very well. But I have made it very clear that I want every state in the United States of America to be independent, to be autonomous. You report to Dr. Koro, who is the national coordinator, of course. He directs what happens. But I have said it that every state in America must grow, and must grow very, very speedily. We need every state in America participating. We need people to tell their people there to rise up and be part and parcel of what we are doing. We need our people in America to rise up and be part of this restoration of Biafra. Therefore, we are making it very clear that every state, every blessed month, must be able to remit their funds straight to Germany. I have said that before, and I'm repeating that tonight. And we'll also announce this evening that IPOB is not in the business of appointing traditional rulers in Biafra land. That is not our remit. That is not our job. We do not have any designated IPOB traditional rulers. What we have are traditional rulers who understand what we are doing and wish to identify with IPOB. We do not give certificates to anybody to become an Igwe or Eze in Biafra land. No. Your community must appoint you first before we give you any measure of recognition. And with that, we have come to the end of our proceedings this evening. This is Radio Biafra. We thank you for listening. And as we have always maintained very studiously, Biafra is our religion. Here on Radio Biafra is where we worship, because Chukwukika Biama Elohim is our God. From me, from here, until next time, it is good evening.